Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. We're shifting gears and we're heading to the NFL. We've got the Dallas Cowboys traveling to play the San Francisco 49ers, the winless 49ers. This is going to be Chris's best bet, so I'm going to come to you first, Brian. Cowboys are coming off a bye week, and it was a much-needed bye week. They came off 2 tough losses, high-scoring games, last possession-type games in both of them, and the last one, of course, the heartbreaker to the Green Bay Packers. Now they're facing a winless 49er team with added rest, and it's ironic because this is a team, the last 2 games that they did lose, they were on the flip side of that. Their opponents both had played their previous game on Thursday night, so they had a big advantage against them playing against the Cowboys the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, this is, if we find out, the 49ers haven't won a game, but they've been very competitive. They played 5 games, all decided by 3 points or less, 2 going to overtime. Unfortunately, they're all losses. So this may be a situation where you get a good effort from San Francisco the first half, and then as the game goes on, I think Dallas may wear them out. Dallas having that bye definitely helps, and as we found out, they still can't decide on what they want to do with Elliott. He's back in the lineup again this week. I expect Dallas to have a good game here coming off of the bye. They need to have that good game coming off of the bye as Philadelphia continues to rack up the wins, and you don't want to be too far behind once the playoffs come and have to win that wild card.
And they got to get the wins while they can, while they've got Zeke in the lineup, because this drama back and forth every week, you don't know what's going to happen if they're suddenly going to be without him, and then that's going to present some major problems. Looking at the 49ers, Chris, one of the other bad parts for the 49ers, yes, they've been competitive, and it's even more impressive how competitive they've been considering the last 3 weeks. They were all road games. You don't see that very often in the NFL, have to play 3 straight road games and for them to be competitive. And last week they were getting blown out at halftime, and yet they come back with the second half, so much so that they made a quarterback change this week. Tell us what you're looking at.
Well, as you know, we had to decide what game we were going to do on Monday night, and my immediate reaction was, oh, I'll take San Francisco. I know this is going to be great. So I'm sitting there thinking they're the glamour team. They have Beathard came in, almost brought him home last week, and Dallas's D is looking pretty porous. They're giving up an extra yard per carry than San Francisco is. And as Bryan mentioned, they've lost 5 games in a row by a combined 13 points. So immediately you see San Francisco coming home for 1 game. They're back on the road for another tough game against Philadelphia next week. This is going to be their shot. This is where you're going to, you're going to catch Dallas sleeping. And that was my initial reaction. But what we do is, I've got a 50-point spreadsheet system. I look when that gets pumped out. The metrics have Dallas at like 9.5 on our sheet. I couldn't believe it. So. The second point that I look at is a team improving or not improving, and both teams are basically just hovering along the same level of improvement or regression. So I have to trust the metrics of the system that Dallas is, much better, is the much better team, and as far as Beathard goes, he comes from Iowa. He was never a very good passer at Iowa. He completed fewer than 60% of his passes. And I think it's a good thing for Dallas that they got a chance to see this guy in, and they were going to prepare for him a little bit. So I think, as Bryan said, they're going to be here. They're going to be ready to play. They've got to catch Philly.
All right. You say to take Dallas. I can't disagree with you this week. I agree with you on this one. And so often we see it, and we saw it with the Cleveland Browns last week. You get the quarterback come in at the second half of a game, looks good, and all of a sudden you want to make that change. And then when the other team gets to prepare for them, for the whole week, it's different. They weren't prepared for him whenever he come in the second half. They were prepared for the other quarterback, and then sometimes they spark the team, and I think that's what we saw last week with Beathard, and now he's going to get to start this week. I agree with you. With the Cowboys there, lay the points with Dallas. And, guys, if you want to check out the Gridiron Guide for college football, Ralph Michaels does a great publication, and it's absolutely free. If you do your own handicapping, it's a must. He has all of the stats in there. You can look at 1 sheet per game with the matchups, everything you need, offensive, defensive stats. Look at it right there. 1 page. It's the Gridiron Guide. Download it at WagerTalk.com. Absolutely free. You'll thank us later. Check it out, the Gridiron Guide. We'll be back with more here at WagerTalk.com.